We come together, feeling the presence of God. Here in this place, one with each other, knowing who we really are. And we are called to carry our light and shine it all over the world. Here in this place, we feel acceptance. Here in this place, we feel connection. Here in this place inside, we feel the presence of God. We feel the presence of God.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Welcome to our community of love and light as we joyously express God's greater vision in our lives. My name is Roberta McLaughlin, and I'm delighted to be assisting Reverend Joanne as your service coordinator today. We would also like to extend a special welcome today to our live stream viewers, which you no longer are. Whether you are watching from the next city over or from across the globe, know that we feel your presence and are holding you in prayer. At Unity Spiritual Center, we are about transforming lives. Unity, as you know, is more than a Sunday morning experience. We offer many opportunities throughout the week to expand your awareness of God and bring us closer to each other. As previously announced, we have officially opened the search process with Unity Worldwide Ministries for the position of senior minister. Of course, we don't know when exactly our next right and perfect minister will become part of our community. The Board of Trustees is currently scheduling guest speakers for our Sunday services following Reverend Joanne's retirement on July 31st. We will be announcing those speakers in the coming weeks and look forward to presenting people who are spiritually aligned with Unity teachings and will provide us with wisdom and inspiration. You are invited to listening circles with Reverend Gregory Coles on May 30th in person or June 3rd virtually as we move through this time of transition. These circles are a key to the search for our new minister. Registration for each is currently open, and the May 30th circle has a separate registration from the service. So even if you are here for church that day, you will need to sign up for the circle afterwards. Reverend Joanne is back on Unity grounds for our weekly noon meditation. Weather permitting, we will meet outdoors, bring a long chair. Otherwise, we will be right here in Unity Hall. The meditation will also still be available through our free conference call prayer line. Please be sure to check your bulletin. Oh, not your bulletin, that was in there from before. Please be sure to check the website for detailed information on all of our ongoing classes and activities, and be sure to check out the special events section for new spiritual enrichment opportunities. Now, let's all stand and share our celebration song.
So we've been singing this song for a little while now. Hope you have it down. But part of the second verse I really like is Daniel talks about sometimes we get confused and we really don't know what to do. And the lyric I just loved was, I just point my little boat toward the light. So when you do that, you point your boat toward the light and then you will have the guidance. So let's try it. When I hear the music, dance. You can feel free to dance if you want. Are you ready? So I came to a fork of a river, you sound great, and I didn't know which way I should go. I had no map, no compass, no driver, precious little information to show. It may be hard with this life of decisions, and it's an altogether common thing to fail. As I surveyed my current situation, I decided just to go ahead and sail. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day and do the best I can, and when I hear the music, dance. I confess I get confused quite often. Seems sometimes I hardly ever get it right. But I think life's about just facing fears and trying. Here we go. So I just point my little boat toward the light. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day, do the best I can, when I hear the music dance. So whatever you're facing, just remember this, that control you've been craving cannot be. Just take a long deep breath and surrender it. You'll be all right, you'll see. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day and do the best I can, when I hear the music dance. Do that again. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day and do the best I can, when I hear the music dance. Last time. There is no one way, no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. So just wake up each day and do the best you can, when you hear the music dance. Make that your own. When you hear the music dance. When you hear the music dance. Last time. When you hear the music dance. Woo, you guys are good. Please stay standing.
Please keep standing and let us repeat our church affirmation together. Choosing to stay centered no matter what, I realize the power of my thoughts and words moves me ever closer to the truth of my being. Please be seated. I guess it's still my turn. No, we need, all right. I am missing my, there it is. The daily word, okay, this is rehearsal, okay? Right, this is what can happen at the 9 o'clock service that the people at the 11 o'clock service don't see. The daily word for today is motherly love. And the affirmation is, I give thanks for motherly love. God's perfect love, expressing through my mother, gave me life. God's love, wisdom, and strength guided her and all those who nurtured me as I grew. my words of praise and gratitude, let me show my mother how much I appreciate her. When I wish to demonstrate my appreciation for my mother's example, I share the nurturing motherly love of God in my words and actions with all people. Remembering the times when my mother or another compassionate person listened patiently and shared encouraging words, I seek to be a caring, supportive presence. Recalling my mother's joy each time I learned something new, I share my skills and knowledge willingly when someone seeks my help. In gratitude, I share the gift of nurturing love. The scripture for today is from Isaiah chapter 66, verse 13. As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. Let us repeat the affirmation together. I give thanks for motherly love.
And so we commit time of our meditation and prayer open and willing and teachable. Take a deep breath and join me. Teach me to dance to the beat of your heart. Teach me to move in the power of your spirit. Teach me to move in the light of your presence. Teach me to dance to the beat of your heart. Take a deep breath and take it even deeper. Teach me to dance to the beat of your heart. Teach me to move in the power of your spirit. Teach me to move in the power of your love. Teach me to dance to the beat of your heart. I'm so teachable. One last time. Teach me to dance to the beat of your heart. Teach me to move in the power of your spirit. Teach me to move in the light of your presence. Teach me to dance to the beat of your heart. Teach me to dance to the beat of your heart.
Good morning. Join me as we're going to take a journey of the mind and the spirit into the divine silence of understanding. Now I invite you to close your eyes, rest your hands on your lap, feet on the floor. Let your body tension release. Feel your shoulders relax. Just breathing normal. We're going to take a deep breath in and hold it for the count of 4 and then let it go. And we're going to do this 3 times. So together with me, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Breathe in. And release. Charles Fillmore teaches that there are 2 ways to understanding. One is to follow the guidance of spirit that dwells within, and the other is to go blindly ahead and learn by hard experience. These 2 ways are open to everyone. When we consider mindfulness, mindfulness is the investigation into the nature of reality. It is mental. It is the energy to persevere, the joy of the process, peace and tranquility in states of concentration, and patience in progress or stagnancy. These are the 7 factors leading to enlightenment. It's mental, it's energy, it's the joy of the process, peace, tranquility, concentration, patience in progress, or stagnancy. As you practice this, never be discouraged. All it takes is a single light to dispel eons of darkness. Once your divine consciousness comes to the fore, all your worries, disappointment, and tensions will go away as if they never existed. Charles Fillmore guides us to practice the presence of God until you open your consciousness to the inflow of the omnipresent, all-knowing mind. Then, affirm your unity with that mind until you know and fully realize just what you should do. Process of enlightenment means realizing the self-evident truth which is always in front of us. There is no self or me. There never was, never will be. Life is one reality we create through thought prisons and live in it. But you can break free and see all the emptiness or all the you. Both are the same. You can see all emptiness or the all you. Both are the same. When you consider that the earth rotates fast, but we do not notice it because we are in it, the mind moves incredibly quickly also to its aversions, fears, desires, and delusions. When you become the awareness and be still, you can catch and stop movements of the mind and gain real insight into the fundamental nature of reality, being, and life. So I invite you now to sit in the silence, still your mind, stop the movements, become aware, and let the wonders of the universe flow through you, releasing all that you hold back. Be still, my mind, I am free. Be still, my mind, I am free. And now, as you come back to the present, please stay in this comfortable space as we move into affirmative prayer.
Appreciation and love for all mothers. We honor young mothers, giving life and counting toes, tending to their children's every need. We show them patience, tenderness, and balance to enable them to care for their families, themselves, with great joy. We honor our own mothers and our mothers of choice who have nurtured and cared for us. May they continue to guide in strong and gentle ways. May they feel our love, respect, and admiration for the positive and lasting impact they have made and continue to have on our lives. We honor mothers who are separated from their children because of war, poverty, conflict, or death. May they know the loving patience of spirit surrounding them, healing hearts, easing tears. We honor women who have not borne children, yet generously love and support us with maternal care
concern, and compassion. May they experience the power of giving and receiving unconditional love. May they be keenly aware of the deep gratitude being expressed and felt for them today and every day. We honor mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, aunts, all those no longer physically with us who live on forever in our hearts and memories. Bless you. May they be fully aware of the profound and continuous appreciation, love, and respect felt for them. May they bask in eternal peace, joy, and harmony. We honor Mother Earth for her countless blessings, for supporting all of our needs, for providing us home. We revere her, we respect her, we embrace her. To mothers here, there, and everywhere, our hearts and souls shout out, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And now let's take a moment and say out loud or silently all the people we would like to pray for. On to the community prayer. The one reality is quickened in me, and I am alive with the radiant substance of spirit. I let go and let my good come to me in all forms as God directs. As I receive, I give generously and lovingly. I have plenty of all I need for God in my supply. I am Pam McHugh, and I will be in the back of the sanctuary for prayers after service.
I cannot build a castle or bridge. I cannot build a tower to the sky. I cannot build the humblest home without a cornerstone. I cannot walk adrift in this world. I cannot sail the infinite ocean. I cannot climb a mountain alone without a cornerstone. Something solid, something true, something never moving beneath me. Something ancient, something new, on which I can rest completely. Life ain't gonna stop, and neither is the pain. Sometimes I get caught up, drowning in the rain, so my mind tries to take control again. But the bumps and bruises give me adrenaline. The journey isn't known, and I never had a plan, so I just keep trying to get up with my own hands on my heart and my own, and I keep coming back to my cornerstone. Something solid, something true, something never moving beneath me, something ancient, something new, on which I can rest completely. I cannot go where I've never been. I cannot do the work that's mine to do. I cannot climb that mountain alone without a cornerstone. I cannot know the meaning of home without a cornerstone.
Thank you, Eric, Bonnie, Jerry, Mel. So good to have you all back. And have you guys noticed that Bonnie is stretching? She's out on platform leading us in song. Yay, I love that, Bonnie. Thank you for that. So welcome, everybody, and happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. So good to be here with you today as we continue our series, which is Daring to Dance Again. And today we're moving to the idea of guide my steps. So I was thinking about that this week, and I was thinking back to a time where I was at a dance somewhere, and I noticed that there was a couple that was dancing, and their steps were so perfect. They knew just what to do, and he'd spin her around, and they'd come back together, and they'd move apart, and it was so beautifully orchestrated and choreographed. It was clear that they had likely had some dance lessons, and they knew what they were doing. And I found it, very moving. And then I noticed, maybe 2 or 3 songs later, that they were still doing those same steps, but the song had changed. And I started to think about that this week, in that idea of guide my steps. How in this example they showed up in this perfect way that really caught my attention because I could see how beautifully they were dancing with one another, and yet realizing that they were doing the same thing no matter what the dance was. They were showing up in the same moves no matter what the dance was. And I was contrasting that in my mind to a story that I told out at our dance party last week, to a time when I was in high school, and I was a senior. And my boyfriend at the time, his name was Dan, he and I would go to the dance on Friday night, and we would go crazy, because I loved to dance. I still do. And so I would just be dancing out there crazy with him, and the next morning I'd go to work, and one of the guys that I worked with had been at that dance, and he said to me, "Oh my gosh, you and Dan must have been totally blitzed last night." And I hadn't had a drop of alcohol to drink. So I was contrasting those two sides, right? Like guide my steps. And how many times in my life that I show up in this place of perfection to the outer world, right? I've got my I'm good self on. Maybe that smile on my face, everything's good. And it doesn't matter what the song of my life is in any particular time, I'm just showing up in that place of, no, I'm good. I'm good. It reminded me as well, back years and years ago, I worked at J.C. Penney's in their shoe department. And my supervisor at the time, I would ask him, as we do with one another, right? So how are you? And the typical response to that is, I'm fine. Right? There's that again. This is the way I'm dancing through that. I'm fine. But his response was, I'm excellent. I thought, wow, good for him. And then not long after, finding out that he and his wife were in the process of a messy divorce. And I thought, was he really excellent? Or is that the way that he was taught he needed to show up in any given moment? In that place of, no, all is fine, and I know the steps, and I know just what to do, to dare, to dance in this time that's so hard. And then again, coming back to myself, just giving myself over to that dance in whatever way it is. Guide my steps. And I bring this up because the thing is, what we're talking about is daring to dance again no matter what is occurring. We've got the umbrellas behind me. And those were set up as our reminder that we have lots of things, tools, ideas, teachings that protect us from whatever is happening around us so that we can truly dance to whatever is happening in our life. but not at the expense of ignoring what is happening in our life if it's challenging. As an example, last week people were asking, next week is Mother's Day. We should have a full house on Mother's Day, right? I said, well, we'll see. Because Mother's Day traditionally here at Unity Spiritual Center has been a very light Sunday. And that may be because people are taking their mothers out to brunch and those sorts of things. But it may also be that there are people within our community for which Mother's Day is a challenge. It's difficult. Maybe they didn't have the best relationship with their mother, or maybe they've lost a child, and so Mother's Day is challenging for them. Whatever the case may be, but they feel like they can't walk through those doors on Mother's Day because they'd have to put on that dance of everything is okay, and they just can't do it. And so in this idea of daring to dance again, what I want us to all get is that we can dance with one another, show up with one another, no matter what is occurring within our lives and within the world, and stand in our truth together, but allow ourselves to experience and feel whatever it is. To allow that Spirit of God within us to be our guide. Not something out here that says you must show up in this way. Here's your guidance, Sherry. You've got to come through the doors on Sunday and show up in church so that you know that your soul is saved, for example. Unity doesn't teach that. We don't give this simple template. Here you go, Linda. Just follow that. You'll be good. Nothing challenging will ever happen again. That's just not my experience, friends. And so what I want to invite us to remember is that we always have the guidance within us, that guide our dance steps in truth, in authenticity, in vulnerability, no matter what is occurring in our lives, and to show up with one another in that way. I wanted to share with you this morning, as I have been through this series, a scripture. Now, this one is coming from the book of Psalms. And you're going to recognize, I'm not going to read the whole entire thing because it's a long one. This is coming from the 22nd chapter of Psalms. And you'll recognize the first line because the first line says, my God, why have you forsaken me? So Jesus, when we hear Jesus up on the cross and he says those words, he's reflecting, you can hear, on this psalm. And in that moment, that feeling of, I'm alone and God has left me. Anybody ever feel like that today? Right? And so sometimes I feel this way. The psalmist felt that way in this moment. This is a psalm of lamentation, and I've shared with you before that many of the psalms start out in this place of lamentation. Guess what? Accepting, here's the challenge in my life right now. Here's what I'm feeling in this moment. I'm not going to put on a happy face. I'm not going to pretend everything is okay. I'm going to be real, and I'm going to be honest, because that's where we need to start. So, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me, so far from my cries of anguish? This is sometimes what we experience in life. When we're called to dare to dance, even in the midst of that. But before we can do so, we have to acknowledge what we're feeling. The psalmist goes on to say, but I'm a worm, not a man. Anybody ever feel in that small place? I'm scorned by everyone, despised by people. All who see me mock me. Now, this guy's not having a good day or a good year. We can all relate, right? We have these moments together. And he goes on. You brought me out of the womb. You made me trust in you. Even at my mother's breast, from birth I was cast on you. From my mother's womb, you have been my God. So there's the reminder. So here's the way I'm feeling. But I'm coming back to the remembering of what I've known. You are here with me. You have been my God. He goes on in this, there's so much imagery here. Roaring lions that tear their prey, open their mouths wide against me. Anybody have any roaring tigers or lions in your life this week? I poured out like water and all my bones are out of joint. Anybody? Bones out of joint this week? They divide my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment. There again you hear from that story of Good Friday, from that scripture. But eventually, with this psalm and with all psalms, what happens is we start in this place of lamentation. We start in this place of truth. God, my life sucks right now. I'm not going to put on a happy face. I'm not going to dance those steps that I think I need to dance no matter what is happening in my life. I'm going to allow myself to feel what I feel here in this moment. And here it is. Hard and it's challenging and I'm frustrated and I'm angry and I'm all of those things. But then we don't stay there. Then we allow that Spirit of God within us to guide us. Then we come back to the truth. Not because we think we need to show up in a certain way. Not because, well, I've got to put on my happy face now because I've got to go to church and do a Sunday message. Not because of that. Not because I don't want people to be uncomfortable around me because I'm not feeling quite right today. Not because of that. Not because I think that my life has to be perfect so that other people only see the perfection. Not because of that. But because I, in my life, and I know you in your life, want to experience that presence of God within no matter what. And for that, we don't stay stuck in whatever it is that we're feeling. Do you see the difference? Okay. So the psalmist comes around to, from you comes my praise in the great congregation. My vows I will pay before those who fear God. The poor shall eat and be satisfied. Those who seek the Holy One shall praise the Lord. May your hearts live forever. All the ends of the earth shall remember and turn to the Lord, for dominion belongs to the one who rules over the nations. Dominion belongs to that Spirit of God and that Spirit of Christ that is within us. And when we can remember that and allow ourselves to center in that place, wisdom is ours to guide our steps. And now we can ask, how do I want to show up in this moment? In this place of sadness, can I remember that in spite of the fact that I may not feel it here, I am one with God? And can I sit here in this moment, in this sadness, and breathe here, reminding myself of that until once more I feel some sense of connection to God again? And if I can't feel it, because sometimes I can't feel it, can I have the courage to walk through the doors of my spiritual community, to join with others who will see the truth of me, so that when I've forgotten it and can't show up in the way that I think I want to, that they will see me for who I am and uplift me and inspire me and encourage me? And again, not because we think our lives have to show up in this perfect way, but because you and I are here to be that light of God. And as that divine light of God, our intention must be to be aware of the power and presence of God in our lives. Not so that we can show up in some preconceived way, dancing the correct dance steps. There is no formula. There is no clear-cut plan. I think that's what we sang about, right? We just take each day and do the best we can. That's what the song reminded us of. Not because we're trying to show up and have a perfect life, because we're trying to show up and perfectly express our divine self. So unity teaches that each and every one of us has this power of wisdom within us that is there designed to guide my steps and to guide your steps. So that at any given moment, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what you are going through, when I can be still and know and listen and access that wisdom, I will discover what is the next right thought for me to hold? What is the next right word for me to speak? What is the next right action for me to take? From that place of wisdom. Charles Fillmore tells us in Keep a True Lent, there are two ways to get understanding. One is to follow the guidance of spirit that dwells within. The second is to go blindly ahead and learn by hard experience. Those two ways are open to everyone. Can you know in any given moment that whatever you're going through is a perfect opportunity? A perfect opportunity to know God here now, to dance the dance of life, and to let God be that inspiration behind your dance, to give yourself fully over to it. There's a saying that goes something like this: the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Think about that for a minute. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So I think about dancing. You know, there are some who have been hesitant, like, I'm not really comfortable dancing in front of everybody. I'm not very good at it. There are others like me that just give ourselves over with abandon and don't worry too much about what people are thinking. I didn't ask Kimberly if I could share this, but I don't think she'd mind. Kimberly Buhner is our YOU sponsor. And so she's been to lots of YOU events. And she has spoken to us about this idea that, at YOU events, they dance. And there she is with all of these young kids, teenagers dancing. And she doesn't want to look the fool. And so Kimberly says what she does is close her eyes. Now I don't see anybody. And then she can give herself over to the dance. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. What comes up in your mind? If I said to you right now, we're going to turn up the lights, we're going to turn up the party music, and everybody's going to get up and dance. We've done that before. And many, many of you join in, and some of you don't. And it's okay, whatever way you show up. But I would just invite you to the question, if I'm holding back from participating in this in my life, what else might I be holding back from? Because I'm afraid of the way I might be judged. I'm afraid I might look a little silly. I'm afraid I'm not going to do it right. I'm afraid I don't have the perfect steps or the perfect words. How you do anything is the way that you show up for everything. And so you can learn a lot about yourself by paying attention to the way you show up for things. And it doesn't matter, according to Charles Fillmore. You can get it by just showing up and doing life however you want, or you can get it by getting still and listening to that wisdom within and allowing that wisdom to guide you. You can dance the dance no matter which way you choose to do it. But the dance that will fill you with a sense of purpose, with a sense of connection, with a sense of passion, with a sense of compassion and love, is the dance where you allow yourself to be guided and inspired by that wisdom of God that is within you. Charles tells us in 12 Powers, practice the presence of God until you open your consciousness to the inflow of the omnipresent, all-knowing mind, and then affirm your unity with that mind until you know and fully realize through the many avenues of wisdom just what you should do. Not what your mom told you to do, not what your kids are telling you to do, not what your spouse is telling you to do or your friend is telling you to do. Be still long enough to hear, what is God inspiring me to do? Allow that Spirit of God to be your guide. What do you think is going to come up? What feeling do you think is going to come up in you as you do that, as you allow that Spirit of God to be your guide rather than what you're used to out in the world being your guide? What do you think is going to come up for you for that? Amazing, Marilyn. Joy, peace, miracles, wonders, abundance, zeal. All right. Anybody going to feel uncomfortable? Because it's important to understand that yes, when we live in this way, we will experience all of those amazing things, but it will require us to dare to dance through the uncomfortable first, because God is going to stretch you in ways that you never imagined. And I don't know about the rest of you, but that makes me uncomfortable. And if that makes you uncomfortable, just know this, it's okay. Don't let the discomfort stop you. So I've been sharing each week an individual in life that represents what these ideas that we're talking about are about. And so today I want to introduce somebody whose name is Marian Anderson. Anybody ever hear that name before? Marian Anderson. I see some noddings of the head. Marian Anderson grew up with a single mother. Her father had passed away. A little black girl in the South. At 6 years old, she began to sing in her Baptist church. And she had a beautiful voice. But her family certainly could not afford to pay for little Marian to get singing lessons and all of those things so that she could go and develop that voice. But Marian had a vision that she would be singing. And she would be singing before crowds. Didn't know how it was going to happen. But in her little mind, remember when you were little and everything still seemed possible? Right? Come as a child, bring yourself back to that. And so what happened was, as Marian grew within this Baptist church, the church themselves took up a collection for her. And they paid for her to have a year of singing lessons. I was going to forget the name of this guy, so because I am not a big classical singer, it's not there in my understanding. So, anybody know Giuseppe Boghetti? Okay, so he must be somebody big. Somebody here knows him, right? Because I didn't. But he heard her and loved her voice so much that he gave her a year then of free singing lessons. And as a young adult, Marian ended up going over around the world. Europe, she did a tour in Europe. She did a tour in South America. Very well received everywhere. She grew not only, in her own capacity to sing, but her audiences grew with her. And so when she came back into the United States, and I'm trying to think, I think this was around 1938 or 39. They just had the 75th anniversary of this. Well, probably a few years ago now. But her agent did his best to rent out Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. because her audience would be so large, they knew they needed a big venue. The Daughters of the American Revolution turned her down because it was their policy that in order to sing in Constitution Hall, you had to be white. Now, Marian, she could have said, okay, I guess it's not going to happen. But she didn't. Her agent didn't. What they decided was, we are going to rent out the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And on Easter Sunday, Marian is going to sing on those steps. And Marian drew in a crowd of 75,000 people to those steps. She had never sung in front of such a large crowd before. Can you imagine what she must have been feeling like? She herself was not an activist. All that Marian did was find her own gift within and share it with the world. And in finding her gift and sharing it with the world and being willing to be uncomfortable and listening to that guidance that was coming to her of how to dance, she found herself in front of a congregation of 75,000 people this Easter morning. She started out with "My Country, 'Tis of Thee." And there's a line in there, "Of Thee I Sing." And she changed it in that concert to "Of Thee We Sing." And later, when she was asked about it, she said, "I did that because of the importance of community. That together we can overcome whatever the challenges are. If we go through those challenges united, together, not separate." Daring to dance and letting God be your guide, that inner wisdom be your guide, will, like Marian, take you to places that you never imagined you would be. It will lead you through emotions that will make you feel uncomfortable. It is not a guarantee that your life will now be a life of ease and grace, because life is life. But you will know within that dance that you have everything you need within you to overcome whatever the situation may be. If you just keep showing up in your yes, in your authenticity, in your vulnerability, in your courage, in your strength, in that wisdom guiding your way. Who's with me? Yeah? All right. So let's see what our practice is today. What transformation is possible if you abide in God and find your groove? By the way, I like the little rap in there. That was a good groove. This week, practice knowing that there is an absolute spirit of wisdom within you that supports you in discerning the way. Remember that Psalm of Lamentation. It started out lost and confused and hurt, and the tiger's eating me in the water, making my bones, all of that. But it eventually came around to, but yes, you were with me since the beginning, God. You strengthen me, you uplift me, you encourage me. Each step is enlightened as you allow that inner wisdom to guide you. As you begin your day, center in that wisdom. Throughout your day, as you go about the activity of the day, invite your inner wisdom to guide your way. Dance with God's wisdom this week and allow your transformation to unfold. Who's dancing? Yeah? All right. One of these Sundays, I'm going to begin again to ask. So who did the practice last week? Who wants to share? Right? So that we can inspire one another, so we can encourage one another, so we can dance the dance together. Unfortunately, I'm looking out and it's pouring out. We're not going to have a dance party today out in the parking lot. So see good weather for next week, and we'll begin again next week. And like Marian, I believe in the power of community to support one another in moving through whatever the situation may be. And this community is a strong community. It's a loving and accepting community. It is an inspired community. And we need all of you to participate as community in the changes that are coming in the weeks ahead. That means first and foremost, we've got listening circles coming up. The end of the month, May 30th, Sunday, after service, live here in Unity Hall, or that Thursday, the 3rd, on the Zoom in a virtual world. But plan to come, share your voice. Together, we will dance our way through this, letting wisdom of each one of us be our guide. We can't do it alone. We must do it together. Thank you, friends. God bless.
These hands, these feet, these eyes that seek to find their hope in you are made in your image. I'm made in your image. This heart that beats, this mouth that speaks more and more like you are made in your image. I'm made in your image. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. You know what you're doing in me. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. You know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. These hands, these feet, these eyes that seek to find their hope in you are made in your image. I'm made in your image. This heart that beats, this mouth that speaks more and more like you are made in your image. I'm made in your image. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. You know what you're doing in me. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. You know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. You made me special. You made me precious. You made me wonderful. You made me special. You made me precious. You made me wonderful. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. You know what you're doing in me. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. You know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. You know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made.
Thank you, Eric and music team. Bonnie, Jerry, Mel, it's good to have you back. It takes a village to raise consciousness. Our collective consciousness is raised as you allow your intellect to be stimulated and your passion to be encouraged. Your financial support of USC allows us to be a presence and support for this collective raise of consciousness in creating a world that works for all. Thank you for sharing your donation with cheer and joy for your spiritual community. There are some baskets on the side for your donations right now. You can place your offering at the door as you leave, or you can donate by credit card at the square at the back of the church. Please bless your offering as we affirm together. I live in a world of plenty, and I have a consciousness of abundance.
I love that idea. Abide in God and find your groove. So you're going to get to groove in here since it's raining outside. When you do find that groove, then nothing is impossible to you. So stand up. We're going to sing Witness this morning, and you can feel free to move.
Receiving these gifts, we are filled with a mighty faith. We know God as source, and each of you as the channels through which our collective good flows. All things are now working together to bring us into a new life of loving service and rich abundance. Thank you, God. Amen. Unity Spiritual Center gives a portion of our offering to several other organizations, currently including 3 special organizations we select each month. This month, one of the organizations which will receive 1% of our offering is Empowering Youth Exploring Justice. This nonprofit aims to empower at-risk teens through a discussion series and initiatives focused on social justice, and their youth council gives young people a chance to brainstorm solutions. Thank you for joining us this morning. A special welcome to any new guests, including any new guests visiting us via the live stream. We are so happy that Spirit guided you to be here with us this morning. Remember to visit our website to register for next week's service. Our message next week is Dancing Sure, and our soloist will be Trey Gilpin. Please stand as we sing our closing songs.
So as you let that Spirit of God that is inside of you guide you and you find your groove, then you will be the peace that you want to see in the world. So please join me this morning. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me and with you.